Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. We're going to get through this.
Floyd Mayweather is now confronting what could be the most devastating financial crisis of his entire career, and the developments unfolding behind the scenes have reportedly pushed the boxing legend into what insiders describe as a complete meltdown mode. Sources close to the situation claim that Netflix is aggressively taking steps to seize Mayweather's valuable assets, including his prized gym franchise empire, using them as collateral to recover the massive $100 million penalty he is said to be facing after allegedly breaching his contract agreement with Manny Pacquiao.
If anybody know about business, you don't keep that type of money in just regular account. So I had to wire the money from somewhere.
Okay.
So I wired the money to the account, and when I wired it to the account, I went straight to the bank. I go to the bank myself to make sure shit get done. Because the thing is that I can't make all the money unless somebody else do all the dictating and do all the controlling.
The undefeated champion, who built his entire persona around being Money Mayweather, is now reportedly watching his business empire crumble right before his eyes, with insiders claiming that he has been experiencing emotional breakdowns as the financial pressure continues to close in around him and tighten its grip more intensely.
Today, to report to you that I'm incredibly disappointed in one of my all-time favorite fighters, my brother, Floyd Money Mayweather.
According to reports coming from multiple reliable sources, Mayweather allegedly signed 3 separate contracts with Netflix along with Pacquiao's promotion team, accepted millions of dollars in advance payments up front, and then later publicly attempted to change the agreed terms by claiming that the scheduled September 19th Sphere fight would only be an exhibition rather than a legitimate professional bout as originally planned.
Here is one of the places that they talked about, so we don't know if it's 100% going to be there, and this is not actually a fight.
Okay, Jazz Mather, CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, confirmed to ESPN that Mayweather is officially in breach of contract and clearly stated, as of right now, the fight is still on, there is no termination of any kind, and he's already signed for a professional fight, reinforcing that Floyd Mayweather is indeed in an official breach of his binding contractual agreement.
There is in a breach. He is officially in a breach. He's been in a breach since the day he went out and said what he said on Saturday, but he's officially in a breach as of yesterday. He has a cure period. There are certain things that he needs to do, and he has multiple breaches.
The CEO did not hold back when addressing the serious financial consequences, clearly stating in comments to the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
It is booked as a professional fight, not as an exhibition. It was never booked as an exhibition, which makes sense because Netflix got behind it, and I would assume that they would not want an exhibition. We said the other day, I think it was actually yesterday, we said that this fight has to be a real fight and not an exhibition because, 1, Netflix is involved, 2, Manny Pacquiao wants that.
This means Mayweather could potentially be facing anywhere from $100 million to $900 million in damages if he continues insisting that the fight is only an exhibition while the signed contracts reportedly state that it is a professional bout that would put his perfect 50-0 record directly on the line, making it clear that the event is officially booked as a professional fight and not as an exhibition.
He feels it's an exhibition and not a real fight.
Is that what he's feeling? But he signed a real fight.
So it's for sure.
Yes, the contract that we signed is a real fight.
Real fight, okay. Yeah, because I know he said
I want to fight an exhibition.
No exhibition. It's either real fight or nothing.
Yes.
However, what is even more shocking is how Netflix is reportedly responding to Mayweather's alleged breach and the severe impact this situation is said to be having on his gym franchise business that carries his name, while also highlighting the growing pressure around him. But before going into the Netflix response, Manny Pacquiao himself reportedly made explosive statements revealing how he managed to trap Mayweather into signing this contract.
That's purpose of exhibition that was long time ago, year after our first fight, but I didn't agree it. And then I wanted a real fight, so he signed what I signed. He signed a real fight, and I signed a real fight, and he got his advance. So there's no reason to make excuses.
This reportedly shows that Pacquiao learned from their earlier negotiations and allegedly ensured that he secured Mayweather's signature on legally binding contracts before any funds were transferred this time, making the agreement far more solid and harder to dispute later on.
If this is all true, then he absolutely is in breach of contract. And he's trying to scam Netflix, of all people. Floyd, we know, is a serial scammer at this point with the cryptocurrencies.
Pacquiao also confirmed that Mayweather has already received substantial advance payments from Netflix, stating directly that the money had already been transferred to him, further intensifying the seriousness of the ongoing contract dispute.
Boy Mayweather, talking about, he thought that this fight that he had with Pacquiao was an exhibition. He took an advance pay for 3 fights.
Right.
And now they're saying he's in breach of contract because he said that.
Boxing journalist Lance Pug reportedly revealed on Boxing Scene today that the advance payments involved are staggering in size, with Pugmire disclosing further details that highlight just how massive the financial figures behind the deal actually are.
Well, I mean, it's a cheap fight, but it is probably going to use it. So. Okay.
Money team has no money.
All right. Money team has no money.
The money team has
This reportedly confirms that Mayweather is said to have received massive upfront payments from Netflix for what was initially presented as a professional fight, while now allegedly attempting to reclassify it as a lower-stakes exhibition bout, raising serious questions about the contractual obligations involved. If these claims are accurate, it would place him in potential breach of contract, with some sources arguing that he is attempting to misrepresent the original agreement involving Netflix and the promotion partners. The situation has also been linked by commentators to past controversies surrounding Mayweather's business dealings, including earlier disputes in high-profile events and promotional ventures. The situation becomes even more complex when examining the detailed structure of the contracts that Mayweather allegedly signed, which are now central to the dispute. According to Matt's detailed account given to ESPN, Mayweather is said to have signed 3 separate agreements on 3 different dates with 2 different parties involved in the arrangement. Matt further explained to the Las Vegas Review-Journal that the first agreement was signed on October 24, 2025, the second on November 6, 2025, and the third on December 14, 2025, with all 3 eventually being merged together in January 2026 to form a consolidated contract structure. It is also reported that Mayweather received payments upon signing each individual agreement, reinforcing the financial commitment tied to every stage of the process. This reportedly indicates that multiple binding contracts were executed over a 3-month period, with deposits being issued at each milestone as negotiations progressed. However, the legal implications reportedly become even more serious when considering additional financial arrangements connected to the deal. Matt also allegedly revealed that he received deposits and further secured an advance loan against the fighter's purse, meaning the financial structure extended beyond standard signing bonuses. This suggests that Mayweather may have accessed advance funds against his guaranteed purse for the Pacquiao fight, creating a more binding financial obligation since those funds are already understood to have been utilized before the final completion of the bout agreement.
A person with 20 million followers but may not have 20 million in their bank account. So I choose fortune.
Sources suggest that this loan arrangement reportedly makes it nearly impossible for Mayweather to simply walk away without potentially facing catastrophic financial consequences, with Math emphasizing the ironclad nature of the documentation they have in possession. He stated to ESPN,
"What's so disappointing with me, Skip? Floyd Mayweather has gone through this before. What is it that you don't get?" And I'm even more disappointed because you're on Instagram and on Twitter flaunting your opulence. You got bales and bales of money. You might have 30, 40 racks.
This level of documentation reportedly makes it extremely difficult for Mayweather to later claim he was unaware of what he was signing, further strengthening the legal position of the opposing side. The most alarming development, however, involves what is allegedly happening to Mayweather's gym franchise empire as Netflix moves to safeguard its financial interests. Sources close to the negotiations claim that Netflix has begun exploring legal avenues to potentially seize Mayweather's business assets as collateral in order to secure repayment of the massive penalty in question. Mayweather Boxing Plus Fitness, the gym franchise operating across multiple locations in the United States, is reportedly among the primary assets that could be targeted in any possible seizure process. The timing is said to be particularly critical, as the gym franchise is already reportedly dealing with multiple lawsuits and growing financial strain. According to TMZ Sports reporting from May 2025, Mayweather's legal team allegedly sent a formal letter to Mayweather Fitness demanding documentation and threatening legal action over fraud, misappropriation of likeness, breach of contract, and defamation claims. The letter stated, Mr. Mayweather has not participated in the management, operations, or strategic oversight of Mayweather Fitness. Despite his limited involvement as a brand ambassador, your organizations have continually and improperly exploited his name, image, and likeness for financial gain, while simultaneously embroiling him in lawsuits and negative press. On top of these disputes, further complications have emerged as employees at multiple Mayweather Fitness locations have reportedly accused the company of failing to pay wages for several weeks, adding even more pressure to an already strained situation.
I'm not that sharp and I'm not that smart, then why should I give you guys my business plan? Why should I reveal my business plan? It's obvious if I've been a multi-millionaire and made over $1 billion by the time I was 40, I think I made over $1.2 billion with no endorsement deals.
HR Grapevine USA reportedly stated in April 2025 that workers at the Los Angeles Highland Avenue location staged a protest on December 31st, 2024, claiming they were owed several weeks of unpaid wages and also alleging that the gym was preparing to shut down. One employee told reporters, "We don't know if he's aware or not. I was told that we can't tell him. I can't tell him that our studio is closing and he was here 2 weeks ago. We've been silenced," highlighting the confusion and tension among staff. The gym franchise has reportedly experienced dozens of location closures over the past year, adding to growing instability across the network. In May 2024, a Mayweather Fitness location in Elk Grove, Sacramento, was reportedly forced to close after the landlord filed a lawsuit against the company for $30,000 in unpaid rent. Sources suggest that if Netflix proceeds with asset seizure action, the entire Mayweather Fitness franchise could potentially be placed into receivership or even sold off to recover the alleged debt, which would represent a major shift in ownership and control. This would be extremely damaging to Mayweather's brand legacy, effectively removing his name from the gyms and transferring operational control as part of debt recovery tied to the alleged breach. What makes the situation even more complex is that Mayweather is reportedly facing financial pressure from multiple directions at the same time. The Hollywood Reporter revealed in February 2026 that Mayweather filed a major $340 million lawsuit against Showtime Networks and former Showtime Sports president Steven Espinoza, alleging involvement in a long-running financial fraud scheme connected to his former manager, Al Heyman. The lawsuit claims that instead of paying Mayweather directly, Showtime allegedly routed fight earnings into accounts controlled by Heyman, who then allegedly misappropriated significant sums through hidden accounts and unauthorized transactions. Mayweather is seeking at least $340 million in damages, claiming that this amount is missing from his reported $1.2 billion career earnings, which suggests that despite his massive success, he may currently be facing serious financial strain due to alleged mismanagement and disputed financial dealings.
Step back in the ring?
I think he got to right now because the money gone.
So the money's really gone?
Yeah, that's what you think. It's fight, get the money, spend the money, fight.
All that money?
And it's been 2 years.
So is it just his overhead is so high on a day-to-day, month-to-month? Like
I don't even want to talk about it. Like with the lifestyle, that money's gone.
But the financial pressure reportedly does not end there. Hot 97 reported just yesterday that the Internal Revenue Service has allegedly placed a $7.3 million tax lien on Mayweather, giving authorities the power to seize his assets until the debt is fully cleared. The lien reportedly relates to unpaid taxes from 2018 and 2023, adding another serious layer to his ongoing financial situation. What makes the situation even more concerning, as some commentators have noted, is how quickly the pressure appears to be building from multiple fronts at the same time, leaving very little room for stability or recovery.
I mean, I have to say this, Mayweather, come on, dude. Fight a real fight. You're still trying to protect your O? Yes, you're 50-0 on paper, but people know you've lost.
Additionally, the Miami New Times reported in July 2025 that TB Aviation LLC, which Mayweather manages, is reportedly being sued by Associated Energy Group for more than $136,000 in unpaid aviation fuel bills, adding another layer of financial strain to his ongoing legal troubles. Sources also confirm that two Miami-based jewelers have filed separate lawsuits alleging that Mayweather still owes millions for watches and jewelry purchases, with one jeweler claiming he only paid $300,000 toward a total balance of $1.675 million. Taken together, these various claims and lawsuits reportedly create a broader picture of a man who, despite earning over $1 billion throughout his career, is allegedly facing increasing difficulty in meeting multiple financial obligations across different sectors of his business and personal expenditures.
Mayweather's broke. I said, no. He's like, no, really. Mayweather's broke. Now, I don't know if it's true.
Right.
This is what this guy told me. I'm like, how could he be broke? He's like, yo, he spends like crazy.
Yeah.
Spends like
I
crazy.
mean, it only could go but so long. I mean, and you're not fighting.
The most dramatic subplot reportedly involves developments in Hollywood, where Manny Pacquiao has allegedly taken over a gym space that was previously associated with Floyd Mayweather. NBC Los Angeles reported 2 days ago that Pacquiao toured a boxing gym in Hollywood that once carried Mayweather's branding, noting that his image would soon be removed from a location. The space is now being rebranded as Pacquiao Prime Boxing and is expected to open this summer. The timing of this transition has been described as highly symbolic, with some viewing it as a direct message from Pacquiao to his longtime rival. During a media session held at the gym, Pacquiao reportedly stood in front of a large image of Mayweather and publicly addressed the contract dispute, stating,
February 3rd, 2026, Floyd Mayweather filed a lawsuit in California against Showtime Networks and Steven Espinoza, claiming they helped his former advisor, Al Heyman, misappropriate a huge chunk of his fight earnings to the tune of $340 million.
Moore reportedly warned, there are consequences that come with that. It's really like Floyd saying the car is black, but really the car is white. This is a black and white situation. Is 100% a pro fight. Math also allegedly hinted that confidential materials could become public if the dispute continues to escalate further. The boxing community's reaction has been extremely intense, with fans and commentators weighing in heavily on the situation. One fan wrote, Floyd spent 20 years telling us he's smarter than everyone about money, and now he's getting sued by the IRS, Netflix, his own gym, jewelers, his jet fuel company, and Showtime all at the same time. Another commented, he made over $1 billion, and somehow he's broke enough to not pay his gym employees or his jet fuel bills. This is insane.
Also know for a fact that Floyd is operating at a deficit right now. He is not making money, he is spending money or losing money. It's not going well for Floyd Mayweather's financials.
However, some fans remain skeptical of the situation, with one observer posting, Floyd is playing chess. Watch him settle everything for pennies on the dollar and laugh all the way to the bank. Boxing analysts, on the other hand, have taken a more critical stance, with many suggesting this reflects a serious lapse in judgment if the reported details are accurate. Sources also claim that Mayweather's team is now working urgently to negotiate settlements with multiple parties at the same time in an effort to avoid any public asset seizure that could damage his financial reputation and long-standing money image. Ultimately, the central question many people are asking is why Mayweather would allegedly sign 3 separate contracts, accept millions in advance payments, and later attempt to alter the agreed terms.
It's crazy that Floyd Mayweather, since retiring, has gone from fighting Logan Paul, huge name, obviously is going to bring a lot of money, to then fighting Deji, didn't bring as much money or pay-per-view buys, to then fighting someone off from Geordie Shaw.
The problem is, Floyd's done this fight with one of the Paul brothers and thought, here we go, this is fantastic now, I'm getting all these views and stuff, people want to see me. It's like, he isn't a draw enough to sell out an entire arena if he's going to go against somebody that isn't.
Mather reportedly hinted at this when he told the Review Journal, if he's scared of Manny, and he does not want to put his record on the line in a professional boxing match, not only should he have never executed any of these agreements, but he should just come out and say it, because Manny ain't scared. Others, however, believe Mayweather may be experiencing real financial pressure and should prioritize dealing with his growing legal issues instead of preparing for a potentially high-risk fight situation. And that concludes the full breakdown of Floyd Mayweather's alleged financial crisis. The undefeated champion, who has reportedly earned over $1 billion in his career, is now said to be facing potential pressure on his business empire, with claims that Netflix may move to seize his gym franchise as part of a $100 million contract breach penalty. On February 3, 2026, Mayweather reportedly filed a lawsuit in California against Showtime Networks and Steven Espinoza, alleging they assisted his former advisor Al Heyman in misappropriating a significant portion of his fight earnings, estimated at around $340 million. Between the Pacquiao contract dispute, the $340 million Showtime lawsuit, the $7.3 million IRS tax lien, unpaid gym employee claims, and other reported financial pressures, sources suggest Mayweather may be under severe behind-the-scenes strain. Some commentators even claim he is currently operating at a financial deficit, suggesting he is either spending beyond his income or losing money overall. It is also argued that his post-retirement fight choices, from Logan Paul to Deji and other exhibition-style bouts, reflect a shift in his marketability and drawing power, with critics suggesting he is no longer able to consistently sell out major arenas against lower-profile opponents. The key question now is whether Mayweather will ultimately honor the alleged contract and face Pacquiao on September 19th at the Sphere, or whether the situation will escalate into further legal battles and possible asset seizures. For the latest updates, moments, and developments in the world of boxing, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new content. Until next time, peace.